After a disappointing performance in 2022, Aston Martin is not giving up on their dreams just yet. With the start of the 2023 season just around the corner, the British team is more determined than ever to prove their critics wrong. Could this be the year that Aston Martin finally rises to the top and becomes a true contender in Formula One? Let's find out. Returning to F1 after 6 decades, Aston Martin has not fulfilled its ambitions so far. Aiming to become the top team in the pinnacle of motorsport, the team has invested heavily in its project, bringing in top talent to help develop its new car. Technical director Dan Fallows, who previously worked at Red Bull Racing, is overseeing the project with Eric Blandon, a former head of aerodynamics at Mercedes, serving as his deputy. The team's new car, the AMR 23, was recently unveiled and will be driven by the experienced Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll. Aston Martin is hoping that this new car will give them the edge they need to climb the championship standings and become a true contender in the world of motorsports. Aston Martin had a slow start to the 2022 season, but eventually managed to return to the midfield group. Looking forward to 2023, team principal Mike Crack knows they must hit the ground running if they want to make further progress. Crack highlighted the team's progress in the latter half of the 2022 season, where they worked hard on car development. However, he also emphasized the need to build a car that can deliver on its potential performance right from the start of the season. Crack said, "The second half of 2022 showed real signs of progress as we worked hard on car development. For this year, our aim must be to build a car that can fully deliver on its performance potential from the first moment it hits the track. Making a strong start to the year and then maintaining that momentum is necessary if we are to make further advances towards the front of the grid." Aston Martin's new car, the AMR 23, has undergone some significant changes ahead of the 2023 Formula One season. With the goal of moving up the grid and challenging the top teams, the design team has left no stone unturned in their quest for performance. The front wing has been heavily revised, and the side pods now incorporate a sweeping inner ramp that helps to channel airflow more efficiently. The engine cover has also been overhauled, with a larger roll hoop inlet that will help to improve the car's overall performance. According to technical director Dan Fallows, the team was determined to tackle these new regulations without compromise. Fallows said, "We want to move up the grid and start challenging the teams at the front, and you can't do that by sitting back and being conservative. AMR 23 is a significant development of the car we refined in the latter half of 2022, and we've improved it in every critical area. It optimizes the solutions we felt would offer us the most performance, and it embodies the joint vision we have embraced and have built together over the recent months." The team will be led by veteran driver Fernando Alonso, a 2-time world champion who is still chasing his 3rd title. Alonso joins from Alpine, replacing the retired Sebastian Vettel. Despite being the eldest driver on the grid, Alonso has signed a multi-year deal with Aston Martin, showing that he still has plenty of fight left in him. He'll be joined by Lance Stroll, who has been with the team since 2019 and is looking to build on his strong performances from last season. The team also has some exciting young talent waiting in the wings. Reigning Formula 2 champion Filippo Drugovich and Formula E champion Stoffel van Dorn will act as Aston Martin's test drivers and reserve drivers, ready to step up if needed. Let's talk about the realistic expectations for Aston Martin for 2023. But before that, if you're enjoying this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks. Aston Martin are hoping to avoid another lackluster season in 2023. With the addition of 2-time world champion Fernando Alonso to the team, there is a renewed sense of hope. Aston Martin knows that Alonso can squeeze every last drop of performance out of a car, but they need to provide him with a vehicle that can compete. Looking back at last season, the team started off as one of the slowest on the grid. However, with a new design and constant development, the AMR 22 saw significant improvement as the year progressed. Aston Martin almost finished in 6th place in the Constructors, only missing out by a single point. The team is optimistic that they can replicate this success in 2023. Alonso can take the fight to teams like Alpine and McLaren if they can develop a decent midfield contender throughout the year. It won't be easy to fight for a top 4 finish, but if Aston Martin wants to join the elite group, they need to take a shot at this midfield cup. Although McLaren and Alpine still have better prospects, Aston Martin has an outside chance of success. The key for Aston Martin will be how quickly and effectively they can develop the AMR 23. With a solid team and driver in place, they need to focus on boosting their car's performance. If they can achieve this, the midfield battle is on for the 2023 season. While Aston Martin may not have the championship-winning past that some of Alonso's previous teams had, he feels the squad still have a vast amount of confidence about what they can achieve in the future. The 2-time world champion explained, "Everyone here is humble. Everyone is hungry for success. Maybe they didn't experience fighting for wins regularly or championships or a podium every weekend, but they trust in themselves. They have self-confidence and they know that they can achieve that, but they never did yet. This is very different compared to any other team that I joined in the last few occasions, where maybe they had success in the past and they were just in a comfortable position. They were just 4th and they were happy with 4th. They were 5th and they were happy with 5th. If they were 7th, it was a celebration. In addition, Alonso confessed that if Aston Martin goes on to fight the championship after he left them, like Mercedes 2 years after Michael Schumacher left, he wouldn't be sour and rather be proud. He argues that his work as a driver for Aston Martin at this point would reflect. Therefore, he would take pride in contributing to the rise of the Silverstone-based team. After spending so many years at the top and winning 2 titles, the Spaniard would be fine going down without a 3rd championship, so creating a new force to reckon with could be his new motivation. Lance Stroll is also optimistic that Aston Martin can return to the level of performance it displayed 3 years ago when it competed as Racing Point. The Canadian: I think the objective this year is to consistently be fighting for good points every weekend, occasionally go for podiums. I think that's a good goal. The last couple of years have been difficult for us, but in 2020 we were fighting for big points and podiums, and we got a pole. I think if we get ourselves into that position again, further up the grid, the top end of the midfield, and fighting for big positions, I think that would be a successful year for us and a good goal for us. Top figures in F1 have also spoken up about the possibility of Aston Martin's competing for titles in the next few years. In fact, Christian Horner has surprisingly declared that Aston Martin is a team that can take a giant step forward in 2023. Red Bull are the favourites to take the F1 drivers and constructors titles again in 2023. Last season they were so dominant that they were able to win 17 out of 22 races. However, Red Bull has warned that Ferrari and Mercedes are not the only teams that can challenge them. The team principal believes that Aston Martin has an ambitious project which includes a new factory, wind tunnel, and big-name signings such as Fernando Alonso and technical director Dan Fallows. Horner said, "You never know what might happen. With Aston Martin, we keep hearing big numbers about their expectations, so we can't know where they will be in the races. Already last year, Alpine made progress in the second half of the season, and maybe McLaren will be closer to the front. Inevitably, the grid should get tighter and tighter with stable regulations." Aston Martin launched its AMR 23 inside its new factory, which is due to be completed in the next few months before the team moves across. Work on the first phase should be completed by this spring, with the final elements, including the wind tunnel and simulator, ready for operation by the end of 2024. Team owner Lawrence Stroll said having the new facility on tap would be a game changer for the squad. He said this year's move into our new state-of-the-art factory is more than just a serious statement of intent. It will considerably strengthen and empower every single individual in this organization, helping us to deliver our ambition to narrow the gap to the front of the grid and in time become genuine championship frontrunners. It is hard to believe that the AMR 23 will be strong enough to challenge the top 3. Now over to you. Do you see Aston Martin competing for the championship in 2023 or the next few years? Let us know what you think in the comments section below. That will be all for today's video. Thanks for staying tuned. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notification bell so that you can always get to watch more amazing videos like this. See you in the next video.